rewind time.
Hi everyone and welcome to this challenge video where I will play the trumpet for the next 30 days. So I will play 1 hour a day, and at the end of the 30 days I will make a tune using the trumpet and other instruments. I will continue the challenge after the 30 days and do a 60 and 90-day video. So there's going to be a part 2 and a part 3, so please subscribe if you want to watch that. If you're not a brass player, there are 3 very quick things that I have to explain to you. This is a B-flat trumpet. What does B-flat means? It means that if I play a C on that instrument, it is going to sound like a B-flat to other instruments. Another thing that is important to understand with this instrument and all brass instruments is that you can alter the pitch with your lips. And every note in between those notes are being played using valves here. So this lowers the tone by a half step, this lowers the tone by a whole step, and this lowers the tone by 1.5 step. The issue that you have is that if you press more than one valve, you have to adjust the pitch with those two. So I'm going to have a lot of problems with that. The last thing that is really important to understand to you if you're a beginner brass player is that this is not a video to take advice. Don't take advice from me. Okay, I'm a complete beginner. I'm going to say things that are probably completely wrong. So if anything, this video is everything about how to not play the trumpet. This is really important. Don't take advice from me. I'm going to make mistakes. This is purely for entertainment. I'm not a teacher. I do not know how to play that instrument. So now that we understand each other, let's get started with day 1. I just received this wonderful trumpet. So a little bit of background story about that. I bought this trumpet 15 years ago, almost 15 years ago, when I was a senior in high school. I actually went to the music shop wanting to buy an electric guitar, but there was none that was to my liking, so I just went to the brass section and there was this trumpet, and I have absolutely no idea why, but I thought, why get an electric guitar if I can get a trumpet? So I bought it, played it for, I would say 2 months, but I was obviously rubbish because I didn't have any teacher, I didn't have any, I think I had a book like Easy Trumpet Solos or something like that. Played it for 2 or 3 months. It was a lot of fun, but I stopped because I went abroad to the university and I didn't want to get killed by my neighbors because I was living in a small apartment. And now it's been 14 years, and I live in a house now, so I can be quote unquote as loud as I want. Of course I can't, but we'll see how many times the police gets called. As you can see, it's not in a bad shape. I mean, there's some spots, dirty spots here and there. Of course I'm gonna clean it because it's 14 years old and it hasn't been played in that long. Not gonna lie, I played it a little bit. I tried to do a scale. As you will see later, I'm absolutely rubbish. I bought this mouthpiece 3 days ago and I watched some videos. I think Charlie Porter is the name of the YouTuber who made a great video about embouchure and how to put your mouth and things you should be thinking about. So yeah, I'm just going to disassemble it and clean it, and then we're gonna start with practice sessions. So let's try and disassemble this baby. That is not a hat for right now. If I manage to play well in 90 days, maybe I'm going to wear it, but it's forbidden for now. It's not a beginner's hat. So let's disassemble that trumpet. There's actually a lot more wear than I thought there would be, especially here. You can see some rust. Okay, so now I have my trumpet cleaned more or less. all three valves can work correctly. I got super scared because the second one didn't engage at all, but then I changed it and then it got a little bit better. So very first day I'm gonna train for an hour today. Let me check. I have charts here to tell me how to hold the trumpet because I do not know how to do it. Is the pinky supposed to be? I'm not sure. Well, I'm just gonna hold it like that. So let's. Oh no! It comes off every time. I'm just gonna work without it today. So I'm gonna try and give you a C.
Give me a C!
Now let's try to do a scale. Hi everybody and welcome to the third day of It's Super Cool in Japan. The reason why I didn't film yesterday is because I got a lesson. The first lesson that I took, the reason why I'm taking lesson is pretty obvious, is because I don't want to take any bad habits during those 3 months because I'm going to play a lot, so I just want to have someone tell me if I make some obvious mistakes. So the class yesterday was pretty much about putting my lips that way and trying to produce a sound like a buzz without using strength in my lips. So keeping my lips relaxed and trying to produce the highest pitch possible. So it went something like that. Well, obviously I can't do it. Like I can produce like a low buzz, not keeping my lips relaxed, but I can't go higher without stretching. So I'm gonna do a scale and then continue practicing for the day. I also tried the G scale, like starting on the low G. I think it goes something like this. I'm having a lot of trouble with the notes that are lower than C, so I guess I'll do that in the future. So let's just do the C scale, see how it goes. So the only buzzing that's gonna take place today will be with the mouthpiece because it's New Year's in Japan. I'm out at the in-laws place, so I couldn't take the trumpet, but don't worry, I'll be practicing tomorrow. We will do a 1-week review tomorrow, so keep practicing. Happy New Year and see you tomorrow. Hi, everybody. So, this is the end of week one. So, what are my impressions? It's been a lot of fun. I wanted to present to you the methods that I will be using during the first month. So, that's Trumpet 1 and Trumpet Repertoire 1. It's all in Japanese. I assume it's only in Japan. It's like the Yamaha method. I might switch to some, or not switch, but add some other methods in the future. So here you go. You basically have on that first trumpet one, you have notes and slurs that you have to do, and then they call it finger training. Yeah, finger training and leap control. That's the one I love the most. Leap control is basically keeping the same fingering and switching from one note to another. So here you have from A to E, or from B flat to F. I find those really interesting, and that's one of the things I didn't expect the trumpet to be. Is I remembered from when I played a little bit that fingering also changed the way the note feels on your lips, which is great, which I like a lot. That's the reason why I picked the trumpet over, I guess you would call it a wood instrument. But I didn't expect that just putting your fingers, for example, let's say I'm doing an E, if I don't change my embouchure to play an E and I just put the fingers, it's gonna sound horribly. So I didn't expect that at all at the beginning of this week. That's something that is covered little by little, and I find that amazing. Another thing that I really have to get working on is all those tuning slides. So I knew that you had to use them, but it's really weird because I want at some point to play with other musicians and to record myself and do some music, especially with the guitar or with the synth. And I tried to make a B flat using a tuner. So I put my guitar tuner on and tried to do a B flat by pulling the tuning slide. The position of the tuning slide would be exactly the same, but I would get a note that's 20 or 30 cents apart. So I think that's going to be a huge challenge in the future, is to get notes that actually can play with other instruments. The way my teacher did it is play it on the piano at the same time. So I was playing a note and he was doing it on the piano. I guess I should start doing that. Having a pitch that's reliable and stays the same, it's way bigger of a challenge than I thought. Another surprise is that my lips aren't destroyed, which is something I was expecting. Playing 1 hour a day, I thought on the second day my lips would hurt a lot, but that's not the case. So I'm really happy about that. Maybe because I'm using one of those plastic mouthpieces. So that might be one reason. I'm not sure. One last thing that I'm going to talk about this week before keeping practicing is the mute. I didn't think it would change the way the trumpet feels that much. It's really a big hindrance when, at least I feel that way when I play with the mute. I feel that almost like I'm running with a mask, if it makes any sense. It's a little bit unpleasant, but the good thing is when I take the mute off, then it feels way better. So I guess that's a plus. So yeah, my goals for next week, just continue practicing. I won't have any classes next week because it's the first week of the year, so the school is not having any classes. So I guess I'll just keep on going with the book, doing the notes and trying to reach, I wouldn't say high C, but G, so the third G on the trumpet. So if I can get the low G, I can do 2 octaves. That would be absolutely wonderful. Even though I don't care that much about playing super high, because my ears are used to playing on the guitar, and even on the electric guitar, I don't play that high. So high C is already up there. So I think I'm gonna be fine with that for the moment and work on my tone. So I'll see you next time. there's something I wanted to talk to you about today, something that happened to me yesterday that was, I think, quite interesting. I was playing the classical guitar. I was playing the Bourrée by Bach, and I couldn't get some of the notes at the speed I was training at. I was training with the metronome, and it just couldn't get it. Even though technically it wasn't that hard, I just couldn't get the notes. So I thought something that I never think about when playing the classical guitar, which is, have you tried breathing? And I just did it breathing quite loudly. I was doing something like, and it went flawlessly. So I thought it was something interesting. The cross, even though those instruments are really different, the classical guitar and the trumpet, I took some breathing instructions that I got on the internet for the trumpet, used it on the classical guitar, and it helped me. So here you go. Hi, everybody, and welcome to a new episode of Yours Truly is an Idiot. The reason I have no footage of me playing today is because I had a class, and since I had the class, I cleaned my trumpet. So I cleaned my trumpet with a similar contraption than this one. Last time I did it, it went flawlessly, so I thought it's my second time, nothing can go wrong. Oh, how wrong was I? So I put here the heavy part inside the bell and tried to pull it on the other side. Last time I did it, it went without an issue. This time it went horribly, so I tried to pull it with a lot of strength, which obviously was stupid because I hurt my hand, and also because the end of the string snapped. So I thought about a lot of different things that I could do, and I think every one of them would have made my horn unplayable. I even thought about burning the tissue at one point. I was that desperate. Yeah, my wife had the genius idea of calling the school I go to, which doubles, it's a school, but it doubles as a shop, a music shop. So the owner told me to come. I went there and they took it in 5 minutes. So that's the lesson of the day. If you have something go wrong with your trumpet, go see a professional. If you're as dumb as me, it's not going to go well. My teacher wanted me to do the thing again. He was telling me that the most important is that my upper lip is relaxed. So he told me to use the third valve slide. I understand why you have to pull the tuning slide. What I do not understand is why you don't have to pull it when playing what's that note? Is it a E flat? When playing an E flat, I asked my teacher and he said no. For the E flat, I mean, in that case it was a D sharp. I'll call it an E flat. For the E flat, you don't have to use the slide, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So you have to pull it when you do a C sharp. You have to pull it more when doing a C sharp than when doing a D, which makes perfect sense because the overall length is longer, so your note will automatically be sharper. So you have to flatten it by pulling the valve. It makes sense. But why you don't have to do it when playing a B flat, an E flat, is still a mystery to me. By the way, I feel a little bit cheated by the fact that we have those tuning slides. It feels like trombone with extra steps. Trombone players, please don't insult me in the comments. I understand that your instrument is really hard. The last thing that changed is I used grease before on the tuning slide, but for some reason I don't really understand why, but the grease made the tuning valve really hard to pull. So I told that to my teacher, and he told me to use oil instead. So that's tuning slide oil. To be fair, once again, please tell me in the comments. I feel like there's a lot of different types of oil, and I feel like you probably can use any type of non-scented oil, and I think it would do the trick. But I might be wrong about that, but it feels, all those small bottles that are quite expensive. I don't know. My teacher told me to sing the tune in the trumpet and do the fingerings when I didn't know how to play it, which I thought was a good advice. I mean, most of his advices at the moment are don't be tensed, which I am a lot when rehearsing for myself, when playing for myself. I noticed that I have my shoulders up and everything in the upper body is quite stressed. So that's something I will get working on. I guess that's something you have with every instrument when you play the guitar. I remember as a kid I had very cramped fingers. I will try to play more relaxed, try not to destroy my instrument when playing it. And if you have a problem with your instrument, bring it to a professional. Don't try to set fire to your trumpet. I haven't done it, thank God, but I can't imagine what the results would have been if I had like a burnt bell. So everything is good and well. I'll see you tomorrow with practice. So what I'm trying to do here is have the right position for my first and third slides when doing a C sharp and a D. I talked about it in my 2-week review that my teacher told me that I could start implementing the C sharp and the D correction on the third slide valve, which I started to do yesterday, but I was kind of eyeballing it because I have quite a bad ear, and I cannot really hear how sharp or flat my sound is. If it's not completely out of tune, I probably will not hear it if I don't have a reference point. So I set out 20 minutes today to get the correct position for my fingers, and I thought I would just find it and that would be it. But every time I put my lips on the trumpet, I'm gonna get a slightly different sound, and so that's a lesson learned. It's quite hard. If you're a brass player, you probably understand the feeling I have right now. If you're a guitar player, imagine it's like playing with brand new strings, but they're brand new all the time. You don't have that third day bliss when you don't have to tune your guitar every 20 seconds anymore. It stays like that. So I guess understanding that this instrument is hard means that I'm getting better in a way. That's what I tell myself, at least. So I'll just keep practicing. This video is absolutely not sponsored by that thing. I hate it. It's horrible. So I tried a little improvising on day 21. Nothing complicated, just a simple 2-5-1 in the key of concert G major. When I started playing jazz on my trumpet, something strange happened. I had a vision. The notes talked to me. Every tone was rolling off my tongue. At this moment I knew I would dedicate my life to... No, I'm just kidding. It was absolutely rubbish. It was a lot of fun though. I went through the scales, tried to play the tonic, the third, the dominant and the seventh of every chord. I saw what worked, what didn't. I generally learned a lot by doing that a little bit every day, and I would really encourage you to try if you haven't already. I know I won't be able to do it after 1 hour of practicing, so I'm gonna try it right now. Does it count? Maybe not. I don't know. I'm happy though. Here's what I have so far. I have my general song is going to be in 2-5-1. I'm going to try to have it be a little bit more than 2 minutes overall. So I'm going to have a very normal, I think, A, B, A, B. A being my 2-5-1 and B being a 4-5-1. So how did I find that chord progression? I just found something on the trumpet that was D. I'm just gonna play it to you. It was just that. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that in the upper range, if I'm going to do the D here, or if I'm going to do so I just put that in my DAW, that little, and then I looked for a chord progression that fit to it. I'm gonna play you a little bit, not everything of course, because I want to record it on the piano and mix everything and have it on the better mic, because that is my GoPro mic and it's horrible. So let's see what I've got so far. So on and so on. So we'll see how it goes. I still have a lot to write. I have about 20% I would say I'm at 25, but I have the general structure, so it helps a lot. And for the drums, I'm probably going to record drums because I don't have a drum kit. So please consider subscribing, and I will do a 3-month drum challenge where I will drive my neighbors even more mad. More mad. Anyway, see you. I noticed something funny. I've been changing the B section, or I guess you could call that the chorus, quite a bit. And the high note used to be C sharp. Then it was D. Now it's E. I'm gonna stop at E because I just played it, and it was before recording. And the E came naturally, and I thought to myself, I could hit a G. That would be nice, but obviously that wouldn't sound well. So I'm limiting myself to the E. I'm gonna stop the music. I'm gonna give myself a pass for something. I started to record the piano yesterday, and I thought it would take me 5 minutes, but it took me 2 hours just to record those chords. I realized that recording an instrument that you don't know well, even if it's only for 3 minutes in a row, for me it's how many bars? It's 13 times 4, so it's 52 bars, and it's long. It's a very long time. I didn't realize that before recording on the piano. So the goal is to have a song that other people can listen to and enjoy as much as possible. So I will allow myself cuts on the trumpet part. As I said, the piano part I managed to do. The guitar part should also be fine. But for the trumpet part, since it's the instrument that I know the least, I will allow myself to do some cuts. Okay. This is day 30. I started recording using an actual microphone, and I got a call from reality telling me that I would have to work really hard today because my tone, it's not good. So I guess that's interesting. It shouldn't have happened on day 30. I should have noticed that earlier, that it just couldn't go well in the mix. So I will try some things. Probably play better. I'm going to try that a little bit. Take more breaks because I've been playing continuously and getting a little bit tired. So maybe take 5-minute breaks from time to time, which shouldn't be a problem because every time I will have a section, I will have to cut the video and merge it with the audio and put it in my DAW. So it's going to be a lot of work. Day 30.
It's going to be a busy day. See you.
One eternity later.
I just finished producing the song. I actually finished yesterday. I could not film the process of doing the video because it was absolutely chaotic. I think I could have done a 1 hour video on those 2 days. So day 30, as you saw, the footage that you just probably saw was me in the morning starting to record, and I realized that I was effed. Just because my tone was absolutely horrible, and that I did a song, so I printed it out here. That's the trumpet part, and that's the guitar. I used that to do the guitar piano part. I will explain that a little bit later. I have to confess a couple of things. The first thing is that I recorded the video on day 30, and I re-recorded the sound on day 31. So little parts of it over and over again. I think I recorded probably for, I would say, 5 to 6 hours on day 31. I played the trumpet a lot on that day, just trying to get the pitch correct and to have a sound that was acceptable. There's another huge problem that I had is the mic. As you can see here, I have this microphone that I use to record sound on most of my videos. The issue that I had was that it produced a sound that was just bad. I didn't know how to mic a trumpet, and to my great surprise, actually it sounds better on the GoPro that is recording right now than on this mic. One other thing I need to confess, and this is a tough one. This is something that I feel genuinely ashamed about. I needed to use some effects on my DAW. The first one being a compressor. As I said, I recorded with that mic, which yielded a terrible sound. I mean, my trumpet playing yielded a terrible song, and it was picked up terribly by this microphone. So I used a compressor. I also used a reverb, and there's a third effect that I used. Pitch correct.
How dare you!
I tried my best not to use it, but it was just, on some parts I could nail it, but on the high parts, so you have the highest that I do is E above the staff. And on those parts, it was just off by too much. It was very noticeable. It was not pleasant to listen to, so I resorted to that. I recorded the MIDI on the piano, and then I exported it into my DAW. Then I have a bass section that I did on a keyboard that was also recorded using a VST of a double bass. So then there was the guitar that basically only plays arpeggio in the back. That's about it for the instruments. I really hope you enjoy that little song. Am I happy about it? Yes, I am, because I really thought on day 30 that I wouldn't be able to get anything out. So the fact that I did a song using that wonderful instrument makes me really happy. It's not a good song, but it's a really rewarding one for me, because I don't think I would have played that instrument every day for 1 hour if it wasn't for that goal. It was just a lot of fun. Great learning experience. So that's it for this video. Thank you all for watching. This is my rendition of 14 years later.